First of all, before we get down to whether you should become a doctor, let's consider a few disclaimers. I am a medical doctor with experience of more than 20 years in the medical field. I have been an allopathic practitioner who sees patients in hospitals and clinics. I have also been a medical teacher, that is, I teach medical students and also guide them and counsel them on personal and professional issues. The opinions expressed in this video are my own personal views and not connected to any other organization or entity. They are based on my own experiences in the medical field. The views expressed in this video pertain to the field of allopathy and not any other medical field such as Ayurveda or Unani or homeopathy. The contents of this video apply mainly to the situation that exists in India currently. So if you are an Indian student who has finished +2 or pre-university course and is thinking about entering the medical field and becoming a doctor, then this video is directed towards you. Please go through this video in full and consider all the facts and opinions that I have presented before you make up your mind about becoming a doctor. Next, let's just consider a few statistics that are associated with medical education and also the timeline that is required to complete the medical course in full. There are about 12 lakh registered allopathic practitioners in India, out of which 3.7 lakh are specialists. That means that only 1 in 3 of the medical graduates are actually specialists, that is, they have completed further postgraduate education such as MD or MS. Why is this so? It is because there are about 550 medical colleges across India as of now, and these admit about 83,000 undergraduate students every year. However, the postgraduate seats, that is to do with MD, MS or diploma, are only about 42,000. So roughly only half of the medical graduates who have finished MBBS can go on successfully to do an MD or MS course. An alternative to doing MD or MS course is the Diplomate of National Board, which is called DNB. However, there is some uncertainty as to whether DNB is on par with MD and MS. The National Medical Council of India has recently stated that DNB should be treated on par with MD or MS. However, the acceptance varies from place to place and from hospital to hospital. As far as the postgraduate courses go, there is also a pecking order, that is, MD or MS are considered to be of the highest caliber, followed by perhaps DNB and then diploma. Students who have taken a foreign medical graduate course should take another exam to qualify as practitioners within India. Please remember that these registration and exam rules vary from state to state across India. Even after graduating as a medical graduate and doing further specialization, you need to renew your registration every few years with the state or local medical council. This is similar to renewing your license to continue to practice within the country. So you need to constantly upgrade your medical knowledge by doing courses, seminars and conferences, and also teaching and research activities if you want to continue as a medical practitioner. The rough timeline that is required to complete the course, it is about 5 to 6 years to complete your graduation, including the 1 year of internship. Post-graduation will take another 3 to 4 years, and if you want to do further specialization in your chosen field, such as a DM degree, that may take another 2 to 3 years. Therefore, the total duration may vary from 10 to 13 years before you become a specialist. Please also remember that there may be gaps in between doing undergraduate and postgraduate because you might want some time off to study for the postgraduate medical entrance exams. This may take anywhere between 1 to 5 years depending on how competent or intelligent you are to crack the postgraduate entrance exams. And like I mentioned before, it does not end after specialization. You need to constantly update your medical knowledge. So what are some of the advantages of becoming a doctor in India? People look up to you and respect you, and they value your words. You are highly regarded as an individual in society, and people look up to you for wisdom and advice. Once you become a doctor and start seeing patients, you feel very satisfied at the end of the day's work. You feel as though you have genuinely made a difference to somebody's life, and that can be a very satisfying experience. On the flip side, what are the disadvantages of becoming a doctor? As I have mentioned before, there is no end to medical education. Really, it is about lifelong learning because you need to constantly update your medical knowledge and skills. You are also held accountable to very high standards. The medical profession is an exacting science which requires you to be on top of your game at all times. Your mistakes could be highlighted more than your positive achievements. You also need to maintain a certain image in public. Since people look up to you, you need to carry yourself admirably, be it in terms of physical appearance or your personality and behavior. People or patients and their relatives expect the world out of you. Patients and their families approach you with the expectation that you are going to heal them completely. This is obviously not always possible and can lead to disappointment. Clinical medical work can be extremely exhausting and overwhelming. There may be times when you might feel thankless because not everybody is appreciating the hard work that you are putting in. You might have to be on call every few days, which means that you might be called out to attend patients out of working hours, even in the middle of the night. Maintaining work and personal life balance can be extremely difficult given these requirements and expectations. Medical profession is known to be a hobby killer. If you become a busy clinical practitioner, you will hardly have any time to attend to other fulfilling activities such as your hobbies or interests. Also, you may not get the medical specialty of your choice, especially if it happens to be a sought after specialization such as neurology or cardiology. Not everybody will be able to become one. In other words, you might have to settle for a specialty which was your second, third, or even fourth choice. Please also remember that once you take up a specialization and complete it, you are stuck with that specialty for life. For example, you cannot become a gynecologist and then change your mind and say, I want to do neurology. It is therefore very important that you consider your options very well before you take up specialization. So are there any indicators for who should become a doctor and who should not? Let us first of all consider who should become a doctor. If you are passionate about medical academics and having a medical career, then you should consider it. If you have admirable qualities of personality such as patience and compassion towards others, then this could be the field for you. If you want to nurture the humane side of your personality, that is, you care for the people, their condition, and their healing, then this is the right profession for you. Students who commit to lifelong learning and working under immense pressure can also do well in the medical field. It is always advantageous to have first-degree relatives such as parents or siblings who are already established doctors. This is because they will be able to understand your plight and give you sound advice at the right time. Please remember that becoming a medical graduate is not the end of your medical studies. You need to be able to commit to intense studies and secure a good rank in postgraduate entrance exams if you want to take up the specialty of your choice. Again, family help in this regard, where they will give you the time and space to prepare for postgraduate entrance exams after graduation is very, very important. Which is why I said that if one of your family members is already a doctor, he or she would understand your situation. In other words, if you happen to be the first person to take up medical course in your family, then you might have to do a lot of patient explanation as to why you are not working and only studying after medical graduation. It is also immensely beneficial to have the base finance, that is the amount of money that is required to complete your medical education right from undergraduation to specialization. This is because medical education is an expensive affair. It is also advantageous not to come with preconceived notions about what kind of specialty you want to do after your undergraduate course. That is to say, it is better to have a choice of 2 to 4 specialization courses that you would want to do so that you are not disappointed if you do not get the specialization of your choice. Now let's consider who should not become a doctor. Anybody who is taking up the medical course due to parental pressure. Please remember that you are going to be the doctor and you will have to face the consequences of becoming the doctor. Your parents are not going to help you in your day-to-day medical practice. Therefore, think long and hard about whether you really want to get into this field. Parents should never force their children to enter a difficult field such as the medical profession, because the consequences of doing so may be disastrous for both the student as well as the family. If you feel that your family will never be able to understand or support you during the lean period, that is after graduation when you need to sit down and study for postgraduate entrance exams, then you might want to reconsider whether you want to take up the medical profession. Students who think that they can get easy name and fame by becoming doctors should consider otherwise. As we have seen earlier, the timeline that is required to become a fully established doctor can run into decades and not years. Students and their families who are already facing financial constraints should reconsider entering this profession, because as we have discussed before, it takes a long time for anybody to be established in this field and start earning big money. If you think that your studies are over after you graduate as an MBBS doctor, then you are thinking wrong. Because remember, you still need to study very hard to get into a postgraduate course. And as I mentioned before, learning never ends in the medical profession. It is lifelong learning. As we have discussed before, students who are hell-bent on taking up only one particular type of specialty, such as neurology or cardiology or orthopedics, are likely to be disappointed, and therefore it is better they reconsider their options. Finally, please remember that medical career is about selfless service. It is not about your ego, it is not about gaining name, fame and money. It is not about the number of postgraduate degrees that you do. That is to say, it is not about running after multiple letters that represent postgraduate degrees that you can add after your name. It is about the patient. You are here to serve the people who come to you as patient and their families. The patients and their condition and healing should be your priority at all times. Therefore, medical career is about selfless service that goes on and on for life. Please also remember that not everybody who becomes a doctor will end up in clinical services. That is, not everybody will get an opportunity to assess and treat patients. Some of you may have to take up pre or paraclinical courses such as anatomy or pathology, and therefore you might end up in teaching jobs or lab and research based activities. Ultimately, it is about what you want to do and not anybody else, including your parents. Please do not be pressurized into taking up this profession when this is not your first choice. Otherwise, you will be stuck in a career that you really did not want to do, and that will only result in lifelong suffering. Also consider alternatives to becoming a doctor, such as paramedical courses. That is physiotherapy, nursing, hospital manager, medical research, which are also equally rewarding careers. For more information on medical course and career, see the description of this video. I hope this has been a useful piece of advice if you are considering entering the medical field. Please choose your career wisely. If you are in doubt, approach a career counselor before you take any decision. If possible, do an aptitude and personality test to see whether you are suitable to enter the medical profession. Consider all the options and make an independent decision. This is about your life and your career. Therefore, it should be your choice. Choose wisely. Thank you for watching this video. Namaste.